Chris Sewall here, baseball card collector, investor, dealer, in that order. Welcome everyone. I wanted to run through some of the young stars in the game today and their card prices versus some established players or some recent Hall of Famers. This video is really aimed at long-term investors. I mean, if you're, let's say, a pure collector, you should collect whatever you like and enjoy. I mean, that's really the end of it, and I'll always say that. If from a dealer's perspective, I know dealers from all corners of the hobby who make a really good living. Vintage, modern, ultra modern, oddball, unproven rookies, whatever. So if someone were to ask me, what kind of cards should I collect, I would basically say collect what you like and enjoy. And if someone were to ask me, what kind of cards should I become a dealer in, I would basically say the same thing. Deal in what cards you like and enjoy and sort of know the best, have the best knowledge on. And if you're a short-term investor, let's say a year or less, or maybe even 2 years or whatever it is, then the points in this video are worth noting, but they don't really apply. That's sort of a totally different ballgame. But I get asked a lot, hey, I want to buy some cards and hold them long-term as investments. What kind of cards should I buy? And if I got asked that question, I might, point them to this video, as I think the points I make here are very, important to understand. So I have 3 examples to run through: a football, a basketball, and a baseball. To be very clear, I'm not recommending you invest or don't invest in any of these 6 players or these 6 cards. I'm simply using these to show my overall big picture point. The examples here represent most of the card hobby and card values in similar categories and of similar players. All right, we'll start with our football example. This is actually courtesy of Jason. He pointed these numbers out to me and kind of got me thinking about it in general. Appreciate that. Looking at a Brett Favre rookie from 1991 Stadium Club and a Justin Herbert rookie from 2020 Panini Prism. Looking at both in values of a PSA 10. They have very similar pop counts in a PSA 10. The Favre sells for around $350 and the Herbert a little over $600, at least as of this recording. Now, this would be considered by most to be Favre's best base rookie. He has some tough parallels in a couple of brands that are big bucks, but not many. Like I said, this is really his best sort of standard rookie card. This would also be considered Herbert's best standard non-auto rookie card that isn't from like an ultra premium brand like National Treasures or Immaculate or something like that. But actually Herbert has tons and tons and tons of higher end rookies and autos and parallels and low serial numbered stuff. Just this Prism card alone has a bunch of parallels, including the Silver Prism, Disco Prism, Laser Prism, Black and White Checker Prism, Blue Prism, Green Prism, Neon Green Pulsar Prism, Orange Ice Prism, Pink Prism, Red Ice Prism, Red, White, and Blue Prism, Snakeskin Prism, White Sparkle Prism, Orange Prism, Blue Wave Prism, and Hyper Prism. Also, Red Wave Prism, Purple Prism, Blue Ice Prism, Green Scope Prism, Purple Power Prism, Red Shimmer Prism, Blue Shimmer Prism, Camo Prism, Gold Prism, Green Shimmer Prism, No Huddle Prism, No Huddle Blue Prism, No Huddle Red Prism, No Huddle Purple Prism, No Huddle Pink Prism, No Huddle Neon Green Prism, Red and Yellow Prism, and Purple Pulsar Prism. That list included no repeats, believe it or not. The card also comes with an autograph version that has 20 more different Prism parallels as well. I'll spare you from reading that list here. If you think what I just read is a joke, it isn't. Those are all legit copies of this card, which might need to be, its own video all its own at some point. All of this is simply to say that the Brett Favre card is a far more significant card for Favre than the Prism card is for Herbert. You really can't find many Favre rookies better than this one, whereas you can find literally over 100 Herbert rookie cards better than this. But let's go back to the numbers. Similar pop counts, the Herbert sells for a little less than double the price of the Favre. But okay, let's check out these 2 players. Remember, we're considering the long term. So after all is said and done, careers are all wrapped up, which of these 2 players will be more significant historically, and therefore which card value should be worth more years down the road. Herbert had a very strong rookie season last year, no doubt about it. He won the Rookie of the Year, and that's basically the end of his NFL accomplishments as of today. He is 6-9 as a starter, never played in a playoff game. Brett Favre retired as the all-time leader in passing yards and passing touchdowns. He still ranks 4th all-time in both categories today. He was an 11-time Pro Bowler, a first-ballot Hall of Famer, and a Super Bowl champion. He won 3 consecutive league MVPs, the only player ever to accomplish that feat. A recent USA Today article ranked him as the 9th greatest quarterback in NFL history. I would imagine most experts would have him ranked somewhere around there as well. So let's go back to the prices again. Essentially, in the long run, for the Herbert card to hold its value in relation to the Favre, Herbert would have to end up with a far better career than Brett Favre. Favre, again, let's call him the 9th greatest quarterback of all time. I think that's reasonable. So let's say Herbert would need to end up being in the top 5 or so, alongside Brady, Montana, Unitas, maybe eventually Mahomes, those sort of names, just for it to hold its value in relation to the Favre. That means, multiple Super Bowl wins, multiple MVP awards, 10-ish Pro Bowls, 70,000 passing yards, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. What are the odds that he accomplishes that? Again, to remind everyone, I'm not knocking Justin Herbert here, but in terms of realistic odds, it's just very, very unlikely. Injuries are always a possibility. Burnout's always a possibility. Bad situations in your career, long-term slumps. Or just end up being a good to great player, but not an all-time great. That's a very likely possibility. Drew Bledsoe or Phillip Rivers or Eli Manning or Tony Romo or Donovan McNabb or Matt Ryan or Joe Flacco or Carson Palmer, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There's just a lot more of these sort of guys in this category than there are alongside Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes. And not to mention that Herbert plays for the Los Angeles Chargers, a team that's been to the playoffs only twice in the last 11 seasons, not exactly an elite franchise, so he has that working against him as well. All of this is to say that if you were looking to invest in one of these two cards long term, it's an absolute no-brainer. You take the all-time great over the hot young star. I mean, technically the upside is higher on the Herbert, but for the upside to come to fruition, it's just so incredibly unlikely you almost shouldn't even consider it. Let's say Herbert does become Brett Favre, and at the end of the day, their careers are basically equal. Well, that would still mean the Herbert card is overvalued in relation to the Favre, as again, it sells for close to double. So, even if Herbert ends up being the 9th greatest quarterback of all time, the Favre card is still the better long-term play. All right, let's check out our basketball example. Let's compare Luka Doncic and his 2018 Donruss Optic rookie to Dirk Nowitzki and his 1998 Finest rookie. Again, using PSA 10s, as that's where we can really get the best data. Doncic has far, far, far more rookies than Nowitzki. Also far, far, far more parallels of each rookie and a bunch of rookie inserts. Dirk doesn't even have a rookie autograph card, for example. There doesn't exist one, nor a rookie patch. The Donruss Optic is certainly one of Doncic's better standard rookies, but it's not at the top. The Prism would be ahead of it, and there are a bunch of premium brands as well. And for the Nowitzki, kind of similar. His Topps Chrome rookie and his SP would certainly be considered better rookies than the Finest, but the Finest is up there, and there's a few others sort of on similar level to the Finest. He has some parallels and inserts as well that are super rare and expensive, but not that many and nowhere near as many as Luka Doncic. So again, this is the more significant card for Nowitzki than the Doncic card is for Doncic, if that makes sense. Or at worst, they're comparable. There are only a handful of Nowitzki rookies better than this one, while there are literally hundreds of Doncic rookies better than this one. Okay, given that, let's look at the numbers. The pop count of the Doncic is 4,311, while the Dirk Finest is just 617, meaning the Dirk card is about 8 times rarer in a PSA 10. What they sell for, the Doncic sells higher, about $450 compared to about $350. Let's look at the career accomplishments. Doncic is 3 years into his career, and it's an incredibly impressive start to a career, no doubt about it. He won the Rookie of the Year, and he's already made 2 All-Star teams, so a lot of promise. But realistically, that's basically it. He has never even won a playoff series at this point. Nowitzki, on the other hand, was a 14-time All-Star. He won the league MVP and an NBA title for Dallas. He was their only All-Star that year, and he won the Finals MVP. That was in 2011. He is 6th all-time in career points scored. Look at some of the other names right around him on the list, and he will be selected to the Hall of Fame in his first year of eligibility. A recent ESPN article ranked him as the 19th best player in NBA history. So let's go back to the card prices. Nowitzki, again, roughly the 19th best player in NBA history. For the Doncic card to hold its value long-term against the Nowitzki card, which again is 8 times rare, Doncic would have to essentially become Jordan or LeBron or Kobe, literally. He can't be, let's say, Kevin Durant or James Harden or Karl Malone or Kevin Garnett or Dwayne Wade or Kawhi Leonard. That wouldn't be enough. He would need to be significantly better than those guys. He'll need to win multiple MVPs, so let's say 3 minimum, and at least 3 NBA titles or more. He'll need to play at just a crazy high level for, at least 15 seasons to get his career numbers up there. Again, Doncic is an incredible talent, no question about it. His first 3 seasons have been amazing. I actually love his game. I'm in no way knocking it. But just from a realistic odds perspective, it's just extremely unlikely that that's going to play out. So again, if you're asking which of these two cards should you invest in, you take the established guy with the accomplishments already in the bank. Technically, again, Doncic may have more upside, but the upside, the long-term upside anyway, really doesn't kick in unless he becomes basically Michael Jordan. All right, lastly, our baseball example. You probably already get the point, so we won't spend a lot of time on this one. But looking at Fernando Tatis and his 2016 Bowman Chrome versus a 1997 Bowman Chrome Adrian Beltre rookie, both in PSA 10s. This is Tatis's best first card, and it's Beltre's best base rookie. There are parallel copies of each, multiple parallels of each actually, but far more parallels of the Tatis, and that one comes with autographs as well. There are fewer copies of the Beltre in a PSA 10 than of the Tatis. It sells for roughly half, about $500 versus $1,000. Tatis obviously off to an incredible start in his career, but he has played only the equivalent of 1.5 full seasons. But Beltre is a surefire first ballot Hall of Famer. You get the picture. I've followed baseball closer than the other sports over the last 30 years, and at some point you've just seen enough Greg Jeffries, Todd Van Poppels, and Brian Taylors, but actually that's not what even the kind of guy we're talking about here. We're really talking more about players like, let's say, Darryl Strawberry, Doc Gooden, Ruben Sierra, Nomar Garcia-Parra, Ryan Braun, Josh Hamilton, Yasiel Puig, Tim Lincecum, just to name a few, players who early in their career were considered the best in the game, and they were the best in the game at the time, winning MVPs and Cy Youngs and batting titles. And their careers, it's not like they were terrible or anything. Their careers were fine, but they just didn't pan out into all-time greats where their cards are worth a whole lot of money. And there are a lot more of these type of players than there are Ken Griffey Jr.'s or Mike Trout's. And for these card values of some of these young guys to hold long-term, they will need to become Mike Trout. They can't be Nomar Garcia-Parra or even, Adrian Beltre. Look at these 8 players here. I didn't pick them for any specific reason other than, they're all young players at the top of the game right now. And I know that it may feel like in the moment that all 8 of these guys here will be all-time greats, but I promise you they will not. Mathematically, it just won't happen. Some of them may. One of them might end up, even being the GOAT in their sport. That's certainly possible, and I'm not discounting that. Maybe another 1 or 2 of them will make the Hall of Fame, but statistically, probably 5 or 6 of these guys will end up with at best a sort of good but not great career, and their card prices just can't sustain today's values. But that's it. Again, this is really a long-term investment video, so if you're buying cards for any other reason, including short-term investing, a lot of the concepts here really don't apply, but I think it's a good thing to understand big picture, regardless of what your goals are as a collector, investor, or a dealer. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Please let me know what you guys thought in the comments. I always love hearing, I always love all your comments, but I also love getting feedback on some of my analysis videos such as these. I'm sure there's some things I haven't thought of, some perspectives I didn't consider, and always love hearing about that. But appreciate it. Stay safe. See you again real soon. Thanks, guys.